It's a pleasure to be here today with Jon Evans, founder, managing director of Muddy Boots Software. Jon, Muddy Boots is a fascinating business that I've known of it for the last 15, 18 years as a leader in its market sectors. But some people may not know it as well as we do. Can you just give us a bit of a background as to how it's formed, where it is today, where are you looking to take the business in the future?
It's quite a long story, really, I suppose. Muddy Boots was born about 12 years ago out of a mother company that I previously had along with another partner, which was involved in sale and distribution of agrochemicals. Okay. So my background is an agronomist, so I have a real strong empathy and still have a strong empathy with the farming industries. Yep. But that business was sold in 2003, and my own pathway followed the development of Muddy Boots into what it is today, which is... So
Muddy Boots today, how many people?
We've grown quite significantly. The origins of the business were in farming. Okay. We have diversified the company now, so it has a very strong food focus as well. Right. We've grown to about 60, 70 people, okay. With offices here in the UK and overseas in well, a relatively small office overseas in Australia and New Zealand.
Right, okay. And what about the future? If you've had this very fast growth curve from 10 years ago to 60, 70 people today, offices here, offices in Australia, where do you think the future for a business like Muddy Boots is?
Currently, we're very focused on our domestic market because with the constant challenges you see within that our customers are facing within the food industry, especially around concerns over transparency, yep. Or around provenance, around integrity and safety, and of course quality, because quality is the big driver of footfall into most of retailer customers. So all of these challenges really mean that there's a significant domestic market for us here yet to go at. Right. But going forward, of course, then the international market beckons, okay. And there is no doubt that that international market will, in time, be ready for a high degree of transformation that is taking place within the supply chain here in the UK, and it will copy what's going on.
Understood. So if I was an atypical client of Muddy Boots, and I'm sure there's not such a thing, but who would I be? What would I look like? What services would I be gaining from the relationship with Muddy Boots?
I think that's where we are unique as an organisation, because we have quite a wide-ranging customer base. That makes it quite challenging for us as an organisation. So we have farming and agribusiness customers that are very much looking at data capture and information around record keeping, very much at the farm operational end of the organisation, through to supply chain, direct suppliers to retailers that are then having to manage much of the compliance and the integrity that their customers are requiring of them. Yep. And of course then retail customers and brand holders who are really focused on delivering quality to their consumers. Yep. And making sure that their supply chain is very much focused on safety, compliance, because that fundamentally underpins that trust with their consumer. Yep,
absolutely. And with us being in the middle of Horsegate scandal, and it's just been released that 50,000 tonnes of meat in mainland Europe is having to be destroyed because its origins cannot be proved. I suppose in some ways, and excuse the pun, that the market must be galloping towards you, that people must be looking for your solutions to stop this eventuality happening again.
I think it's been quite disruptive, in fairness. There's no doubt about that. I mean, so it is. There is no doubt that it's creating demand for the types of solutions that we have to offer. Yep. And our customers are looking for solutions, smart solutions, really, to help them through this crisis and others that may.
And can you offer that solution?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. And so where do you think this market is going to develop over the next 3, 4, 5 years? That we've had this implosion of scandal come out. Is it perceived to be a healthy thing that that's now happened, it's out in the open, and that everyone's got to be very open and deploy systems like yours to stop this scenario happening again? Or will corners still be cut?
There's always going to be price pressure on the market, and nobody can be absolutely sure. But there's a significant amount to do around improving the transparency of performance in supply chain. And so what that really means is that there will be a significant emergence of what we would term collaborative solutions that will operate up and down a supply chain, where data and information that is pertinent to the performance of a site or a supplier or the performance of a product will move up and down the channels, so that the guy at the top potentially has a 360-degree view of the performance of what is taking place within his supply chains.
So that's a very interesting point, because I was going to ask you, is it the responsibility of the grower, the supplier or the retailer to solve this traceability issue? Are you intimating that it's actually everyone?
Everybody.
Right, okay.
Everybody has a role to play.
Yep.
Where we're positioned at the moment, that the consumers are certainly looking without any doubt to the retailer, because they are trusting the brand. The retailer is looking very much to the direct supplier to implement solutions that support and underpin that trust.
Yep, okay. But for that collaboration, that joined up thinking, there has to be a technical solution for that. And so you're intimating that Muddy Boots would be able to offer that solution?
Integrated solutions across supply chain is where the future is resting.
Okay.
Often what you've seen in the industry is most businesses approach it from an enterprise perspective.
Yep.
So they purchase or they deploy solutions that actually end to end within their enterprise. I think increasingly organisations are going to have to start to look at systems that not only meet that requirement from an enterprise perspective, but also actually meet it from a supply chain perspective. And that means joining up with their customers, and actually also joining up with their suppliers and growers beneath them.
Yep. Okay. And this isn't just on a domestic basis within the UK, that your solution can offer that solution on an international, pan-international basis?
We talked about that earlier on. I think when there is no doubt that the scares that we're seeing today are not just isolated to the UK, they're everywhere. Yeah. How transparent and how public they're made is I think, a key problem. And as those markets and their supply chains become more consolidated, there will be a need, as there is in the UK, for solutions such as ours to be adopted in their marketplace. So emerging markets, like especially where you've got your mature consumer who expects a high degree of quality and a high degree of safety and trust in the food that they're buying, we'll see places like US and Australia, New Zealand and South Africa, the more sophisticated markets, actually starting to deploy our solutions.
Jonathan, it's fantastic to get that insight from you. From a global trading perspective, what's very encouraging to know is that there's an international solution to this international, not problem, but requirement for a software solution such as this. John, thank you very much for your time today.